Hi there, welcome back to Mo's Garage. So today's episode, we're going to talk about my favorite thing is upholstering. So a couple things. I've ordered new seat covers for the MGB GT. And so what you see here is what was in the car originally. I think I found out that these things were most likely reupholstered back in the mid-90s when we took that seat apart. I was surprised to see a barcode on the cushion. I'm like, well, they didn't have barcodes back in the 70s. So anyway, with the door panel kit, you also get additional leather. So you can actually then reupholster these strips that go on the door and just behind the door. So I went ahead and took this seat completely apart. We kind of wheeled it, got all the rust off, put some anti-rust treatment on it. We, on these side panels, we basically unstapled everything, cut the new pieces to shape, stapled them back on there. So, and quite frankly, I'm pretty happy with the results of both my wife and I's fruit of our labor. So it actually looks pretty decent. The seat itself needs most likely a little a hair dryer going over the leather a little bit to kind of smooth out some of the wrinkles, but it actually, for first time ever, it looks pretty good. I did have to do a little manufacturing for this seat, so I'll show you here in one sec. So there's actually a plate that goes underneath the actual headrest. This headrest is actually just on there for show right now. It's actually not all the way, but what there is that underneath the headrest, there is a plate that goes there that basically ties everything together, kind of screws under the actual, whatchamacallit, sorry. So it actually screws underneath there. The post goes through it and it kind of holds everything together. Well, this plate was obviously pretty well junked and garbage. The good news is I think I looked at the seat over here, and if I'm correct, so hold on. So if you look up there, you see there's a plate. And this plate actually looks like it's in good shape, so I'm hoping not to have to redo that one. So yeah, anyway, so I did that. Definitely had to run. This is actually the post that I haven't quite put on yet. The headrest, kind of waiting for it to kind of I just literally applied a coat of the rust inhibitor. And then I also went to town with the wire wheel, not the wire wheel, but the polishing wheel, just to get rid of some of the rust. That looked pretty much similar to this. There's all kinds of surface rust on it. So not great, but I said I cleaned up a lot of it, so I was pretty happy with it. So I will say, just general observations, putting the headrest cover on was not easy. I mean, I basically wrapped the whole thing in shrink wrap and just to compress it as much as possible so I could fit it in there. So, but generally speaking, the rest of it, you know, the usual watch YouTube and how they do it was not too bad. And I said, I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out, at least for the first time. So what my goal is on this episode is to just give you a few bits and pieces in between as to how to go from this seat over to this seat, and the same thing to how we reupholstered these from here to here. Okay, so great, let's get going. So one of the items in our steps to reupholster the interior is basically putting a new cover over the headrest. So you may be wondering, why is this thing all shiny? Why is it wrapped in saran wrap? What the heck is going on? Well, so when we did the other headrest that's on the driver's side, it was a massive pain to try to get the foam inside the headrest piece. Because you need to compress it and hold it down. And after really struggling with it, basically I just went to town with the saran wrap on the piece and then wrapped it as tight as I could, stuck it inside the headrest, massaged it around, and then proceeded to spend the next 20 minutes fishing around in there with my hand trying to get the saran wrap to break up and come out and whatever. Not the most efficient. I'm sure there's a better way to do it than that, but it worked for us, and so we're going to try it again. I'm not going to film me doing it because I'm sure it's going to be long and tedious and you're just going to watch me just struggle the whole entire time. But I will show you the end result. So anyway, we'll be back in a sec. Awesome. So now you can see after a little struggling, I got the cushion in there. As you can see, the saran wrap. You can also see how loose it is. So I mean, if you notice that there's plenty of room and whatever. So now the trick is to basically cut the saran wrap and just dig around and dig around and dig around and dig around some more until the saran wrap's gone. And so hopefully it should go from looking like this to looking like this. That's the hope. So anyway, I'm gonna go dig it out and we'll check it out. And voila, there's the finished product. Looks pretty good. It was definitely a lot of work trying to get the stupid saran wrap back out, but it's all worth it in the end. As I said, it actually turned out pretty well, and it's not sure how you would get the cushion back in the kind of the leather without some kind of form of compressing the cushion ahead of time. And not only that, that cushion's kind of a little has a little traction to it, which makes it even more interesting. So anyway, yeah, so that was it on this. So hopefully you enjoyed that. So upwards and onwards with the rest of the upholstery install. So first steps is let's get these reupholstered. So to transform these to these requires a little bit of fun with this fun little tool right here, which is a staple remover. So I bought this from Sailrite. It is a good staple remover, but it's not a great staple remover. So part of it was the price. So, and trust me, if you're gonna use this on a regular basis, you want a good one. These little nails are pesky, not nails, but staples are really pesky to get out. It's not a whole lot of fun, so it's actually worth the investment. The other thing is you do not necessarily want to take everything apart at once and reupholster it all at once, mainly because there's a little detail work you have to kind of keep in mind. For example, you can see this has some piping up on top here. So that kind of goes the full length on the one side. On this other side, which goes by the windowsill, you have the actual windowsill, I'm not sure what you would call this, felt piece, and some more piping over here, and some little bits and pieces at the end. So that's why on purpose I actually decided to only do one at a time, so I'd always have another one to refer to. So anyhow, so let's get the exciting part of taking all the staples out. I am not going to video that. It would definitely put you to sleep. It definitely puts me to sleep while I'm doing it. So we will be back in a bit after these are all removed. Awesome. Okay, for our next reupholstering trick, well, we're going to do one of these panels. We'll start with the easy one. I say it's easy just because we don't have to screw a couple of ends on each other. So I went ahead and took the vinyl covering off of it. So that's done. Quite frankly, it was a massive pain as expected to get all the little staples out. Never a lot of fun. So that's fine. So we do have two more of these nice pieces of leather that came with the door panel kits. So that's what we're going to use to basically reupholster this. Now, this already had some kind of a sticky glue on it. I mean, it's kind of very tacky. It's not contact cement, interesting enough. So I'm not sure what kind of glue it is. But we're actually going to, just for fun, spray contact cement on top of that. So I'll try to get some of it off with a little rubbing alcohol, but I wasn't too successful last time. But we really just need something to hold everything together while it's kind of molding the leather onto the wood. So we'll grab one of these pieces, put it away. No point in getting it in the way of everything and get it ruined, and then we'll start working on this next piece. Okay, great. So really, first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to cut this piece down to size. It's a little big for what we need, like width-wise. So, and then if we ever need any pieces of scrap or anything in the future, we'll have something. So, so we'll get this to where we can stretch it out a little bit. And then we'll start at one end and work our way that way. So, okay, so now we have the pattern on the leather, and what that will help us with is when we go ahead and put the contact cement down, that way we know exactly where to put it. Obviously the contact cement, once it's down, it's down. So what we're gonna do is we'll spray the leather with contact cement, and then we'll actually spray the wood piece, and we'll try to make sure we get a good coating on the sides. The magic behind the contact cement, as I said, it really does a nice job of allowing you to wrap the sides ahead of time and not having to deal with staples and all the other fun, happy stuff. So, okay, anyway, we'll get that all shot with some contact cement, and then we'll see how it goes together. Awesome. Okay, so here is the preliminary one done. We will still got to put the piping on top, so we'll worry about that. Our corners turned out okay. The reality of the matter is you'll never see them, but I think good enough for what we have to deal with here. And again, we're not exactly experts at this anyway, but yeah, anyway, so it looks good. We'll go ahead and touch the piping, and that will be the end of this piece. So pretty much, I'm not going to show the other piece being done because it's pretty much more of the same stuff. So I'll get that done, and we'll have that portion of the upholstery done. Awesome. So we finally reached a time where we're going to start looking at reupholstering the seats. So this is obviously the passenger side seat that we are going to reupholster. I think I showed you previously the job we did on the driver's side. So interesting enough, as I mentioned previously, these were reupholstered back in the mid-90s, and when they reupholstered them, they kind of glued everything together. So I know I've seen a few videos online where these things are all held in place by clips. Well, there's a couple of clips on this, but mostly it's all contact cement. So trick here really is to take the covers off carefully. I know, for example, down here, this has all been kind of glued up against the foam, so you've got to really be careful when you take it apart so it doesn't kind of tear up the foam underneath too badly. And then once that happens, we'll wire brush the frames, paint it, and then we will begin with the reupholstering. So first steps, let's take the covers off. Awesome. Okay, so at this point in time, I think I'm going to end the video, and then we'll do a second part showing how we actually put the covers on. But this kind of shows the end result of our reupholstering job on these little side pieces. Turned out pretty good. As I said before, the corners could have been a little bit better, but unfortunately, the leather is a lot thicker than the vinyl that was on there before. And I think could have done maybe a little bit better of a job, but I'm actually pretty happy the way they are, so we're gonna leave them alone. I did polish the headrest, and the black stuff is an anti-rust thing that I kind of used on it. The chrome's okay. In some areas, actually, what you're seeing is polished metal, not polished chrome. So at this point in time, I think it's going to be good enough. Both my wife and I are pretty short, so I don't think that chrome is ever going to be shown to the air. So I think we're good in that department. And then I did go ahead and wash and clean the rails that it sits on. The seats have been wire brushed, and they have been kind of washed down. It was a kind of an anti-grease oil compound. So believe it or not, there's actually a Marine number 9 cleaner that's amazing. So anyway, so these are literally ready for a quick coat of Rust-Oleum. I'm not super concerned with the results of the paint job, because quite frankly, you will never, ever see them again. So anyway, I said that is going to be it for today. So hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you want to see additional content just like this, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you liked it, give us a big thumbs up. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye. If you like this video, hit subscribe and give us a big like down below. Thanks for watching.